But that was a statement that was made that I wanted to get your take on. It's from your locker room stablemate, if you will, Kenny Omega,
Okay.
who says, quote, I don't know if I've ever said it publicly or not, but I think we're headed on a path where a couple of WrestleManias down the road, the main event is going to be Logan Paul versus Mr. Beast. And it's like, what's the wrestling acumen? How many miles have they put into it? It's like, does it matter? This is the process of evolution. Now, of course, there's a lot of ways you could look at this and approach the subject as one of the boys or as the office. As if you wear your promoter hat, I understand what he's saying, that hey, you're trying to court attention at all costs. And Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTube creator in the world. And I know that some people listening to this will take issue with this next statement, but he is the biggest content creator in the world. No one consumes more of his content. I mean, there is no one above him. We're talking a fella who, if I mean, literally, they're throwing money at him every time he posts on YouTube. He has cracked the code of courting attention. So I see why WWE would be interested in doing something with a Mr. Beast, but I also am not a pro wrestler. But I've heard the rumor and innuendo that some guys get a little frustrated occasionally when they work all year long, and this is back in yesteryear, and they're all hoping to have their WrestleMania moment. And Jeff, you were a victim of this. A segment runs long, you get your match cut at WrestleMania, man, it's got to be disheartening. That happened, and it happens. But I know that some talent feel like, hey, that's not fair. I've been here all year, and now this guy's here, and he's gonna take my shine at WrestleMania. Where do you land on this? Is this just the process of evolution? Because I don't really argue with what Kenny's saying. I could see that being the case, that it would be a featured thing at WrestleMania. But are we losing the soul of wrestling if we do something like that, Jeff?
Oh, Conrad, are you like, is this ball? Am I playing T-ball or is this a softball you're throwing at me? Or you? Oh, okay. So I wish I had context. I didn't hear. Was Kenny, the context is king on this? Was he kind of down when he's saying this, or I don't want to say not happy with it, but not seeing? Because when I just read that again, I had heard about this. I'm trying to think. I think Cody actually referenced something on this, but anyway.
Do you like it or not, Jeff? Mr. Beast versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Not only yes, but a big hell yes. That's what okay. I'll say this: I may like it a whole lot more or hate it afterwards if it doesn't do big business. But look, we're in the black ink at the end of the day, black ink versus red ink, and you want eyeballs on the product and the positioning. And is it truly the main event? I mean, we're going to get into context and slicing and dicing and all kinds of things. But man, at the end of the day, we are in the professional wrestling business, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And that's all about creating revenue. Will this create more revenue with them on the show, short term and long term, or we'll be better off short term and long term not have them on the show? I'm going to say it's a no brainer. It is an absolute, the biggest content creator in the world is going to introduce your product to a lot of new folks. Look, we can talk forever about this, but I won't get any more long-winded, Conrad. I think yes, athletes, influencers, entertainers, if you're willing to put in the work and get in the ring and do what you need to do, I'm all for it. Big time, all for it.
What do you think that means for the professional wrestlers who are trying to make it? I mean, listen, there's rumor and innuendo that, well, it's not even a rumor. I mean, listen, Corey Graves expressed some frustration, whether it was in character or out, I don't really know, but he expressed some frustration with the idea that he had been replaced as one of the voice of the broadcast by Pat McAfee, almost, making it, I don't know, are we sending a message? Hey kids, don't chase your wrestling dreams, chase your content creator dreams, court as much attention as you can, learn how to wrestle along the way, and then present yourself an opportunity to WWE. I mean, I know that some people will hear that and think that I'm being negative, but I'm really not. It is a standard business practice to make yourself valuable to a business,
That's right.
to offer greater value to a business than the salary that you would command in return. You want to create $100 worth of value and ask for $50 just to make it old school. Do you think that changes the way some wrestlers approach this? Like, would they instead try to is the path to having success in wrestling now to become a quote unquote influencer who learns how to wrestle?
Okay. Conrad, and here's something we just kind of touched on. You mean you wrestle in Memphis every Monday night, every Tuesday night, every Wednesday night? Thank God I had this kind of upbringing and everything that goes with it, because before day one, but when I got into the business, and last night, Conrad, I was talking to a young upstart, independent wrestler, and he's, hey man, you got any advice for me? And I always I don't know where they're at in their career, and I'm try to be like short, succinct, and then kind of get a response. And I said, hey man, it's this simple. If you get in it for money or fame as your number one, and you can put those either way, if that's the reason you get into this business, you're not going to make it. You got to get into the industry because you love it. Okay. And I said, the second piece of advice is this: your in-ring work is less than half of your success. And he looked at me and I said, I'm just telling you. And the reason I say that is, from the day I got into the business, and you have to think through the cadence, there was no high spot I was going to do in front of the Mid-South Coliseum. The 37th Monday in a row that I wrestled there, that was going to get the people like, oh, wow, you're going to run out of that. But man, if you learn how to talk and convey emotion and tell different stories, that's it. So that's where I think a lot of guys, and it's no fault of their own, but when they get into this industry, they truly believe, if I can go out and have a match that literally blows everybody away on this said event, wherever it may be, and the chances are you're not going to come back to that audience for a long time, then you're leaving the ring and having, there's nothing wrong with it, the best match of the night by leaps and bounds. And I won't get into star ratings and all that, but I'm just saying it's very, very, but when you think that, okay, man, I'm on the road to a successful career, but the reality is, in my opinion, like I shared with that young guy last night, your in-ring work is less than half of your equation to be successful. Well, what's the other half? Promo skills, charisma, marketability, and now it goes without saying, your social media presence. And guys that tweet about a ham sandwich and then bitch about an airline and then talk about politics and talk about whatever, and then all of a sudden they're going to get in character for a wrestling promo. It's like, dude, it ain't going to click. So, Conrad, I'm all caffeined up. You know, you've been on a couple of calls with me today. So we ain't even got to our topic I've been talking, but I'm wound up. But the silliness that people are throwing a pity party for guys that have been wrestling and might get knocked out of their spot, it's like, come on, guys, grow up. You don't even know what industry you're in, Conrad. Is that a little stiff? Is that a little stiff, pal?
Well, maybe you're ready to get off the hamster wheel. You know, the Federal Reserve data is showing that the share of accounts making only minimum payments has now climbed above 11% as of the first quarter of this year.
Damn.
That's the highest level since they started recording and tracking this data back in 2012. But at the same time, a recent survey from Experian found that 2 in 5 Americans are carrying credit card debt and believe that making the minimum payment is enough to manage it. But like millions of Americans, are you too struggling with high interest rate credit card debt? You feel stuck just making those minimum monthly payments? Well, you've heard me say time and time again, your home is still worth more than likely what you paid for it. So instead of carrying all that high interest rate debt month to month, why not use the equity in your home instead? Just take a look at Andy, my buddy up in Appleton, Wisconsin. He had some medical issues that forced him and his family to take on a lot of credit card debt. We hooked him up at SaveWithConrad.com. We helped him take advantage of the equity he had in his home. He paid off that debt, and he's going to save more than $1,000 a month. How much can you save? Let my team run the numbers for you today for free, just like we did for Andy. There's no cost and no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. It costs nothing to look, as our pal JR says. And when you work with the team at SaveWithConrad.com, you can also expect our year 3 guarantee. Experts agree that interest rates are set to fall within the next few years, but we have an exclusive 3-year guarantee that allows you to refinance in the next 3 years at any time with no lender fees. So you lock in a better rate and reduce your monthly payments today, but you don't waste money with a whole nother set of closing costs later. The best time to start saving money is today. Well, actually, it was yesterday, but today is the next best opportunity. So why not access some of that newfound equity in your house? Turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. If you've got some honey-do renovations you'd like to do, maybe you've always wanted to upgrade your kitchens or bathrooms, you've got the equity in your house to do that too. No matter what you're looking for, we can help at SaveWithConrad.com. Find out how easy it is to get started. And just so you know, you don't need perfect credit. So even if you've had some problems, we don't say no, we say not yet, but here's how. We want to get you on a path to making those financial goals a reality at SaveWithConrad.com. Why not let my family help your family save some cash at SaveWithConrad.com? NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender, SaveWithConrad.com.